So look, there's something I wanted to react to. How Paul George completely finessed the 76ers. And I wanted to react to this because I wanted to react to this a while ago because he was doing so bad. He was trash, like garbage, completely garbage. Now that he said he's putting his podcast away to focus on the season. Now this is even better to react to right now, man. So we're gonna get into it. Paul George finessed the 76ers. This is when he dropped 2 points in 37 minutes. I don't know how you had 2 points and they gave you get $40 million a year. It's like 4 years, $120 million. But we finna get to it. We finna shout out to who does this video? Swish out. Shout out to him, man. We finna get to it. We finna watch it.
Tonight was tough. The past couple weeks.
That man said tonight was tough. He had 2 points. If I'm a superstar, I'll get 2 points on accident. I can get up 6-8 points accidentally. Just at the line, I can get about 6 points. Even if I gotta and do all that and fake it and start flopping, I'm gonna get some points on the board. Trust me.
Been tough on my body. Just growing, just been lingering. So this time off should definitely help. I just tonight I didn't have no burst. It was bothering me, but I tried to be available.
What a real vet.
I remember going on 3 years ago. Draymond Green was in the middle of the finals, and he was struggling significantly. And even in the midst of him having
still
all
doing
of that
stuff
going on, he was still recording his podcast.
He was doing that. That man was even. Hey, the pod was jumping.
Now, even back then, when
pod
player
was jumping.
podcasts were a little less prevalent, it was still an
That's
odd
when he was getting.
look. Stephen Curry's
This
legacy
before he
literally
was
on
crazy.
the line. Draymond Green wasn't playing well, and even through all of that,
That
he
man
still
gonna get
had
an
time
episode
to
up.
get home, set up his hotel equipment even after games, and give his audience content.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter what the sport is. It's something about active players' podcast in the middle of the season, especially when commenting on live events in your own sport, that just feels weird. Nevertheless, that's Draymond Green.
That man was dressed
And
up that
regardless
show.
of how you feel about him, he is one of the most accomplished players in this league. Now, what about that guy in Philly on a max contract named Paul? Paul George literally hasn't won anything significant for.
He hasn't won anything at all. And see, the thing is, and I seen this. What was it? It is what it is. They're talking about that man because he was what's his name? Cam. He said that man must have like a second persona. Like podcast P might actually be a person. Playoff P. We had pandemic P.
Organization ever. Yet he feels
because he put the podcast down and
he has
dropped
some of the
25 or
most
something like
tone-deaf
that.
Quotes ever.
Because when I was in LA, they like, man, you should have been a Laker. That's all I was hearing. It wasn't no like, oh, welcome to the Clippers. Yo, we happy you in LA, but you should have been a Laker.
He was on the second team.
I'm on the B team.
He said that while he was on the Clippers, right?
George said this offseason. He didn't sign back with the LA Clippers because basically they didn't value his worth. And I'll just let him explain it.
Season in, I finished healthy. Now they bring it to 3 years.
Where we at?
150. Give me the 3 years, 150. No trade then. Like no trade clause. Then I know.
Yo, Paul George was tripping. I'll give you $50 million a year.
Like I'm taking less, but at least I know I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm committed to y'all. Like they didn't want to do the no trade.
Do that?
Wow. I'm not giving you no trade clause. You're tripping. Because if you look, because Philly should have got rid of this man if he was playing like this. I would have got rid of Embiid and Paul George. Podcast P. Both of them would have been out of there, man. Embiid for sure. And once I seen Luka get traded, anything goes. That's what anything goes, and everybody getting traded. Embiid would have been gone for
this
sure.
Man was hell bent on him getting the same bad contract that Kawhi Leonard got. But I want to make mine even worse. Get me a no trade clause. What contending team is literally in the worst situation right now?
3 years,
It's
150
the Phoenix
is
Suns.
cool.
Now why?
Oh, we trash. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all know I'm a KD fan. We so garbage, man. Every time I look at the game, I'm like, we getting killed by someone new. We get killed by a new team.
Exactly. Are they even in this situation to begin with? It's because they obtain literally the worst situation in sports.
Bradley Beal.
Beal's contract. Why
No
exactly
trade
is
clause.
Bradley Beal's contract so bad? because he makes a fuck ton of money, yet he's not worth the money he commands or the no trade clause that's in that contract that allows him to call
Shout out
the shots
Brad
on where
Bill.
he plays
Man,
on
got that
said
no
contract.
trade club. That
That's
man
why
say I go where
this
I want to
dude
go.
right here literally wanted that exact same power. Now that his hometown team basically said, bro, you're not worth it, go test the market and find a desperate sucker, he did exactly that and got that max contract. And what exactly is he doing now? Is he on a revenge tour? Is he back working with that MVP trainer that he told us about a few years ago? Like, what exactly is he doing?
MVP trainer.
Podcast P fam, welcome back to another episode of Podcast P.
Welcome back to another episode of Podcast P.
Podcast
they
P.
did him dirty.
Podcast P fam, welcome back to
They did
another
him dirty.
episode of Podcast P.
Jimmy Butler just left Miami pretty much because he wanted his money. Pat Riley obviously doesn't pay players for what they've done. He wants to pay you for what you will do for his organization. Cool. Personally, I understand both sides. And I'm actually warming up to Jimmy Butler in Golden State. He looks
So am I. That man Jimmy Butler is balling in Golden State. I ain't even go
happy.
cap.
But you know the perfect example as to why Jimmy Butler
And
couldn't get that
Steph is
contract
hooping 'cause
and
of
why a lot of older players don't get additional max contracts. It's 2025 Paul George. Paul George, he had 2 points last night.
2 points, man. He had more blocks than points. And he played 37 minutes. Most of the time, if you get 2 points, you fouled out, you were in foul trouble, you got hurt. It was one of them.
Brooklyn.
That man played
Paul
40
George,
minutes and
he's
had
on
2
an annual
points.
salary.
Yo, we
that
shot
will pay him
7 times.
$53 million all the way up until he's 37. Let me say this right now.
Wait, he said what? Hold up, wait.
Points last night against Brooklyn. Paul George, he's on an annual salary that will pay him $53 million all the way up until he's 37. Let me say
Ooh.
this right now.
That's
This
crazy.
man isn't Kevin Durant, who's still doing this thing at 36. He's not nowhere near LeBron, who's clearly still doing this thing at 40.
That man
This
LeBron
man
is
looks
a
cooked
different human
now.
being.
And unlike those guys, he's nowhere near as committed, clearly. Norman Powell said after Paul George left, it's basically addition by subtraction. And it came off as harsh.
Dang.
But I mean, was he lying?
He not lying,
the
'cause he
Clippers weren't as
hooping.
good as they were last
Norman
year,
Powell
mainly
getting
because they
bugged.
had a much healthier Kawhi last year. But Norman
Ooh.
Powell specifically, he's arguably having a better season this
He
year
is.
than any
Oh,
Clippers
dang.
Paul George year.
I ain't know that.
And what makes
That's
it even
crazy.
worse is the Philadelphia 76ers fans absolutely hated Tobias Harris because it looks like he stole money. Well, Tobias Harris,
They were so happy. They got rid of Tobias Harrison. He doing better than Paul. He doing better than Podcast P. What kind of world are we living in, man?
year
The
was
sad,
better
sad
than
world
Paul
we live
George
in.
now. The 76ers are an absolute mess. Joel Embiid is literally playing on a knee that he knows is done. And the player that they brought there possibly to help carry at least Joel into the playoffs, what is he doing? This season alone, mind you, Joel
Poor-
Embiid has been gone the
Poor
majority of the
Tyrese
year.
Maxey,
Paul
man.
George has more games under 10 than he does over
That man more podcasts than he does. He has more episodes than he has games. Wait.
30. Look at Paul George's non-existent impact. When he's on the floor, they're actually a
Hold
worse
up.
team.
Wait a minute.
George has more games under
He had more games under 10 than he has episodes. That's crazy. 10 points. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're a superstar in the league, you can accidentally get 10. Like, you can, oh, man. Like, you can almost guarantee 10 points. If I can't make a shot, I'm getting to the line. I'm going to have more than 10. I'm going to have 10 or more. I'm going to get in the double digits. The fact that he has 7 games under 10 points is bizarre.
than he does over 30. Look at Paul George's non-existent impact. When he's on the floor, they're actually a
He
worse
only
team
had 3
all
games
across
over
the board.
30.
So
God.
basically, you stole money from an extremely passionate city like Philly, who's traumatized by stuff.
Man, if the Eagles didn't win the chip, they'd be stoning Paul George right there. They'd be stoning that man core. They'd be breaking into his house. He wouldn't be saving Philly, ain't gonna lie. They lucky the Eagles won the Super Bowl, because if they did not win, Paul George they were not gonna let that man live.
This and this and this And
Philly's cursed. I ain't
and then
gonna
you
lie.
have the nerve to be a consistent.
Look, Okafor out here
The new
fighting
NBA is
fans.
wild.
He fighting
Whatever's left of
pedestrians,
Paul
man.
George's legacy feels like it's being tainted more and more by the year. And the biggest problem with Paul, in my opinion, is the fact that he talks way too much. You said this
Man said he talked
about
too
your
much.
contract.
But I thought I did enough to earn
To
that.
earn that money.
Yet last playoffs, when the series was tied 2 games apiece, you did this. After Dame hit one of the craziest shots ever on you, you were adamant and persistent on calling that a bad shot. You wanted to leave Indiana, whose best player played every single game in that jersey despite winning nothing, yet you want them to treat you like you're Reggie. You said you're bored playing center, as if you're doing anything else productive on the floor. The player that I'm actually
That man shooting he's 43% from the field is diabolical work. That's diabolical. That's so bad. 43%.
to have a lot more appreciation for, who actually has a very similar career to Paul George.
He got
Is
me
this
up out of there too.
Shit, yeah, we was out of there. Out of there.
Y'all both were struggling playing against LeBron.
Man, what? It was over.
They swept us 4-0.
Yeah, we was swept too.
Yeah.
We got swept too. Shit.
Since the 2010s, you know the player who leads the NBA in games, kinda by a landslide, is DeMar DeRozan. You know who also leads the NBA
DeMar
in
finna
minutes,
play.
kinda by a landslide, is DeMar DeRozan.
DeMar
This man
be
has
playing,
11
boy.
seasons playing 70-plus games. LeBron has 13. DeMar DeRozan is available, he's consistent, he's productive, and he's quiet. DeMar is older than Paul George. DeMar makes half of Paul George's salary despite being much more productive. I
he
don't hear
way
him on a
better than Paul.
podcast talking about how valuable.
Oh my gosh, they 4-2-12. I thought it was 1-2-12 is crazy. Oh, I would have been. I ain't gonna lie. I would if I'm the owner or the GM. I'm not letting Paul George up, man. If I didn't trade him, cause nobody gonna want him. He averaged 16, and he's getting 212. I'm gonna make his life miserable. I have to, cause you're making mine miserable. I'm paying you this money, and you over here making episodes. I would man. I can't let him. You ain't gonna be peaceful here in Philly. We ain't having that. You better get to 25 a game, or I'm gonna crash out. I'm gonna have to crash out as a GM. Like you gonna have to get a restraining order type. Like we can't work in the same. You gonna have to demand a trade or something. We can't work together. You're averaging you're averaging 16, 5, and 4, shooting 43%, and I'm paying you $212. This man DeMar DeRozan doing better, and you get 3 years 73.
He's
Oh no, 212 is that's ridiculous, man. 212.
just quietly hooping. I gotta respect that.
Season in, I finished healthy. 74 games played.
Yep, and
Paul George played 74 games last year. That was by far the most he ever has in a Clippers uniform. And now in hindsight, it just felt very on time.
Woo, the Clipper dodged the
Get
bullet.
your numbers, get your bag, get comfortable, and get right.
They tried to give him 150. That man should have took that. I'm getting 50 a year. I'm taking that, but I didn't know he'd get 212. So
behind
I
your
mean,
mic
I
in
get
your
it.
second career. Last year, in a contract year without Kawhi, Paul George did
Oh,
this.
Ant-Man.
This year, after getting that contract without Joel Embiid, Paul George is doing this.
Woo,
Yeah,
that man.
I know Paul George has been injured on and off, and I get that. But if I
Come on,
consistently
man.
see this from my max
He
player
can't
on the
dribble.
court, and
Oh,
then I
my
go home and
gosh.
see this from my max player on my phone.
Welcome, it's
I-
podcast
Thank God the
P.
Eagles won. If you guys
That's
like this,
what I said, man. If the Eagles didn't win, that man life would be. That man life he wouldn't be in Philly. He would just meet the team at the game. Like I'll just be at the facility. They're gonna have to go undercover. But look, that's it for the video. Like, comment, share, hit the subscribe button. Now catch you on the next one. Till then, I'm out. Peace.